Tashdile, this is Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama congratulates Mongolian President-elect. Canadian Parliamentary Friends of Tibet host Tibet Day with Sikyong Pempa Tsering. CTA President reaffirms commitment to mutually beneficial solution to Sino-Tibetan dialogue. Mass vaccination drive. 66% of Tibetans in India vaccinated against COVID-19. UN experts call out China on forced organ harvesting of Tibetans, Uyghurs and other detainees. Swiss Parliamentary Group for Tibet meets to discuss action plans. Czech Senate passed resolution calling for boycott of 2022 Winter Olympics in China. EU-US summit raises China's human rights violations in Tibet. Tibet House Japan holds online meeting with Tibetan community in Korea. Representative Tsering attends wreath-laying ceremony of victims of communism memorial. On Friday last week, His Holiness the Dalai Lama congratulated His Excellency Ukna Kurelshuk on his election as the President of Mongolia. Reminiscing warm memories of his visit to the country, His Holiness wished the President-elect every success in fulfilling the hopes and aspirations of the people of Mongolia. Sikyong Pempa Tsering had his first formal engagement with the Canadian Parliamentary Friends of Tibet as they hosted Tibet Day with Sikyong Pempa Tsering to demonstrate solidarity with the Tibet cause and to honor the new Sikyong of the Central Tibetan Administration on Monday this week. After welcoming Sikyong Pempa Tsering, the event saw discussions on the Middle Way approach, Sino-Tibet dialogue and Reciprocal Access to Tibet Act. Sikyong spoke about his vision for global advocacy for Tibet, one of his top priorities of his tenure.
Our idea is to introduce this, to realize, to optimize on the potential that we have of Tibetans around 25 different countries, speaking the language, understanding the system, and working with leaders in those countries. So that will be a large Tibet advocacy campaign, Tibet advocacy group.
Members of Parliament Arif Virani and 4 other MPs, Garnet Genuis, James Maloney, Larry Bagnell and David Sweet, Representative Ngodub Tsering, Office of Tibet DC and representatives of Tibetan NGOs in Canada attended the meeting. All MPs assured to work with the Tibetan President to seek a speedy resolution to the Sino-Tibet conflict. CTA President reaffirms commitment to mutually beneficial solution to Sino-Tibetan dialogue. In an interview with the Washington Post, George Rogan, CTA President Pempa Tsering reaffirmed his commitment to finding a lasting, mutually beneficial and a non-violent solution to the Sino-Tibetan dialogue. While promising immediate action to revive the stalled Sino-Tibetan dialogue, President Pempa Tsering also spoke about his plans to strengthen international outreach and advocacy.
I'm willing to explore all kinds of channels to reach out to the Chinese government. So it's quite early to talk about specific strategies or specific mention about specific channels that we may have or might look forward to have. But definitely we will be trying to seek a lasting, mutually beneficial, non-violent solution to the Tibet issue through the third way, as Karl calls it, or the middle way, as Buddhist calls it, or the Tibetans calls it, the middle way path or the middle way approach.
The interview was organized by the National Endowment for Democracy. This is President Pempa Tsering's first public interview with America journalist after swearing in as the Sikyong of Central Tibetan Administration. According to the latest data received on Thursday this week, a total of more than 35,000 Tibetans residing in settlements across India have received COVID-19 vaccination, that is around 66% of the total Tibetan population in the country, out of which 26.3% received the recommended 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine and 39.87% received the first dose. Among the Tibetans in Nepal, a total of 1,437 Tibetans have been vaccinated. The percentage of the total Tibetans who have been fully vaccinated is 5.18%, whereas 15.92% of the total Tibetan population in the country have received the first dose. Led by the Central Tibetan Administration, numerous Tibetan monastic institutions, NGOs and even individuals have sponsored the vaccination drive in Tibetan schools, monasteries, settlements and in the cities where Tibetan college-going students are scattered across. After assuming office, Sikyong Pembatsering presided over a series of virtual meetings with settlement officers of 41 Tibetan settlements, reviewing the status of mass vaccination drive across Tibetan settlements in Nepal and India. 12 UN experts have called on China, expressing serious concerns on reports of forced organ harvesting and to allow independent monitoring by international human rights mechanisms. The press release states the forced organ harvesting by China is targeted on Tibetans, Uyghurs, Falun Gong practitioners, Muslims, Christians and other detainees who are often arrested arbitrarily. The experts said that they were extremely alarmed by the credible information received from detainees where they are forcibly subjected to blood tests and organ examinations such as ultrasound and x-rays without informed consent. The judgment of 562 pages notes that the mysterious deaths of Tibetans in custody could also be victims of organ harvesting. The Tibet Bureau Geneva called on China to comply with the demands of the UN experts, including allowing access to independent monitoring by international human rights mechanisms. The Swiss Parliamentary Group for Tibet met to discuss action plans for Tibet on the sidelines of the ongoing summer session of the Swiss Parliament. Wide range of issues were discussed, including the situation of rejected Tibetans, asylum seekers, and the overall situation inside Tibet. The parliamentarians assured continued support to Tibetans and Tibet and signed the petition for a diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympics 2022 to be held in Beijing. The co-presidents of the group, Fabian Molina, Nicolas Walder and Nick Gudger, and members of the group, Christine Badicher, Priska Bihe-Hemo, Martina Munz and Marianne Streiffeler, President of Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, Thomas Buckley, President of the Tibetan Youth Association for Europe, Tashi Shitsetsang, and CTA officials from Tibet Bureau Geneva attended the meeting. The summer session began on 31st May and will continue until 18th June 2021. On Thursday last week, the Czech Senate passed a resolution calling on the government to boycott the Winter Olympics to be held in Beijing, China, in 2022 on grounds of egregious human rights violations by China against Tibetans, Uyghurs and others. The resolution was passed on 10th June 2021. The resolution was approved by the Committee of Foreign Affairs, Defense and Security and presented to the Senate by Chairperson Senator Pavel Fischer. The resolution also noted China's failed commitments of the 2008 Olympics. It also calls upon the government to evaluate China's human rights obligations by the PRC and to systematically raise the issues of the UN bodies. The European Union and the United States raised shared concerns on China's human rights violations in Tibet in Brussels on Tuesday this week. The two sides intend to closely consult and cooperate on a full range of issues regarding China, which include elements of cooperation, competition and systematic rivalry. Charles Michel, President of the European Council, and Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, represented the EU. President Joe Biden represented the United States. It was the first EU-US summit since 2014 and the first visit by the US President to the EU institutions since 2017. Tibet House Japan representative Dr. Tsewang Gyalpo Arya held an online general meeting with Tibetan community in South Korea on Saturday last week. Representative Dr. Arya spoke about the importance of unity, preserving our culture and identity, and not forgetting the common cause. He advised establishing Tibetan Association in the region to build connections with and to seek the support of the Korean public, its government and parliament for Tibetan cause. Representative Arya said the collection of the Green Book voluntary contribution by the Tibetans in Korea will be streamlined in consultation with the Finance Department. Representative Ngotup Sering attended a memorial organized by the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation in Washington, D.C. on Friday last week. It was the 14th annual roll call of nation's wreath-laying ceremony. Every June, on the anniversary of Ronald Reagan's Brandenburg Gate speech, the foundation hosts this ceremony to honor more than 100 million victims of communist regimes around the world, to celebrate liberty where it has triumphed, and to further the pursuit of a world free from communism. So much for this week. See you next time and have a good weekend.